When she told me to move out, she didn't lower her voice. That was the first thing I noticed. Not hesitation. Not discomfort. Just a tone so matter of fact it felt like she was suggesting I switch brands of detergent. "It makes more sense," she said. "They're ready to start a family." Ready. The word hung in the air like something measurable, like a qualification I had somehow failed to obtain. I nodded slowly, because nodding is what you do when your brain hasn't caught up yet. It had been 3 years in that house. 3 years of shared dinners, shared holidays, shared routines that had gradually blurred the lines between whose space it really was. I never questioned the arrangement. Not seriously. We lived there. We contributed. We functioned like a family unit. At least, that's what I believed. What no one ever discussed, what I never announced, was the number 600 every month, mortgage assistance, utilities, insurance, groceries that somehow always multiplied. Repairs that were temporary, unexpected costs that were never truly unexpected. It hadn't started that way. In the beginning, it was small things. "We're a little tight this month. Just until things stabilize. You know how expensive everything is now," so I helped. Not heroically. Not resentfully. Just logically. 2 incomes, 1 household, shared benefit. Except over time, help became structure. Structure became expectation. Expectation became invisible. No one asked how much I covered. No one calculated totals. No one said, "This is a lot." Stability has a strange side effect. People stop asking what sustains a workspace there. Future plans drawn casually across rooms I was already financing. Still, I didn't anticipate the conversation. "It's nothing personal." My mother-in-law continued. Which is an interesting phrase, because it's almost always followed by something deeply personal. "They need the room. It's time." Another neutral word carrying quiet finality. I waited for my husband to speak. He didn't. Not because he was cruel. Not because he agreed. But because discomfort has its own paralysis. Later that night, lying awake beside him, patterns emerging. If my presence could be dismissed so cleanly, what exactly had my contribution meant? By morning, the emotional turbulence had settled into something almost unsettling in its calm. I called movers. The woman on the phone was efficient, cheerful, professionally detached. "How soon?" "Tomorrow." There was a pause, logistical, not judgmental. "We have an opening." Packing wasn't emotional. That surprised me. No dramatic pauses holding photographs, no sentimental hesitation over objects, just decisions, sorting, folding, labeling. Control expressed through cardboard and tape. My husband watched quietly, confusion layered with something like dawning recognition. "You're really leaving." "I'm really moving." They didn't mean. I know what they meant. The house felt different once my things began disappearing. Not emptier, exposed. The following week was silent. Not hostile silence, uncertain silence. Then came the calls. First, the mortgage office. Then utilities. Then insurance. Language shifted quickly when payments stopped. Not emotional language, contractual language, obligations, shortfalls, revisions. I wasn't present for the conversations, but I didn't need to be. Financial reality has a way of asserting itself without theatrics. My husband arrived at my apartment one evening looking older than he had a month earlier. Not physically. Structurally. "I didn't realize how much you were covering." I studied his face, searching for defensiveness, accusation, resentment. There was none. Just disorientation. "How could you not?" The question came out softer than I intended. He exhaled slowly. "Because no one ever talked about it." That was the tragedy of it. Not malice. Not exploitation plotted in secret. Just a system built on assumptions, politeness, and the dangerous stability of silence. His mother called days later. Her voice, for the first time, carried something unfamiliar. Carefulness. We didn't know. And I believed her. That was the uncomfortable part. No villain. No mastermind. Just a blindness made possible by my own willingness to make things easier. Which left the emotional terrain frustratingly complex. Validation without satisfaction. Understanding without comfort. I wasn't staying for free, I said gently. Another pause. Different now. Wait. No explosive fractures. The family adjusted, budgets restructured, expectations recalibrated, and I learned something quieter, less cinematic, but far more durable. Unseen responsibility is not the same as security. Generosity without visibility is not protection. And sometimes, dignity returns not through confrontation, but through absence, through the unmistakable sound of a system shifting, once your quiet support is removed.